Hello everyone, welcome back to more Terra Mystica. This is a review video for my Fjords League Season 3 game, in which I was player 4 and chose Darklings. You can tell already that it must be kind of a, I don't know, it can't be base set, because when would you ever get Darklings in 4th seat, right? And I don't think they're like a totally standout choice on this map. I don't think people were wrong to give it to me, which is kind of what's cool. We talked about this some in faction selection, but Darklings don't have quite so favorable terrain here as on the previous map. On the base map, I should say. And also, oh, hang on, let me adjust the size so you can see. Yeah, okay. And also, one of the reasons Darklings do well on the original map, okay, they're good, sure, but is that engineers do very well, and engineers and Darklings are good trading partners because they don't fight over any of the same terrain, and they have like some shared terrain on the eastern continent that they can kind of both exploit and help each other out. On this map, engineers are less good, and they don't tend to build as close to Darklings, so that's another thing that makes Darklings a bit worse. But anyway, I did end up getting Darklings. We're playing bog standard Mend, basically, and Mermaids, Engineers, Nomads, and Darklings. But on the Fjords map, and with some endgame scoring for most clusters. And I got the rare privilege, since I was a 4th seat Darklings player, of picking up the Sanctuary Stronghold bonus tile, which is the biggest help you can get towards building your Sanctuary in round 1, which is a fantastic thing to do if you're Darklings, and you can do it. So that was my goal, was to try to do that in round 1. I probably talked about that in faction selection, I don't remember. But how did the dwelling placement go? What was first? G6, H5, G4, G5. So all of these were the first dwellings placed. Right, and they went Mermaids, Nomads, Engineers, me. And then I placed this one, the other kind of natural starting place for Darklings. I don't know, here is also relatively natural, or even here. But yeah, I wasn't sure if Mermaids would place on S7 or not. It looks okay for them, but since Engineers are likely to take E8, it gets a lot worse all of a sudden. And so in fact they didn't. They took E4, figuring Engineers would build towards them this way. And something that I've kind of learned in my Fjords games is that, like, what was the other game we already watched? It was a Witches game. Yeah. Is that, like, E4 and D1 are really important hexes. They're the way, or much, much better than the alternative ways of connecting up from the west coast of this continent to anywhere else. Right? D1 is this tremendous obstacle for shipping around the horn, so to speak, right? And, you know, if you have to go from F3 and you want to get here without using any of these, you have to go up to like here and here, which is fine if you have 3 shipping and you want blue and green, but maybe you don't, you know. Maybe if you could get red, you could, like, you know, here, but like where exactly is red building from? If you're black, it's just a nightmare if you don't have either of these tiles. You have to, like, I don't know, go here and then here and then here and then here. It's like hard. Anyway, so Mermaid securing E4 early is a good step towards getting connected and getting a lot of clusters, which is something Mermaids should be good at. And the other bonus tiles, Mermaids took shipping, Engineers took priests, Nomads took the worker, sure, whatever. I don't have many strong opinions about that. And we all started off the big old leech party down here, and everyone but me grabbed the temple right away. No big surprise. They all wanted Earth 1. And would I have taken Earth 1 if they had offered it to me? Yeah, probably. But I picked in 4th seat knowing I could be denied Earth 1. And something that I talked about in previous Fjords League videos, probably the faction selection ones, is that the presence of the additional endgame scoring makes delaying your points more viable. makes it rewards you for building a larger economy and doing less cashing in early for points, because there's an additional way in the end game to turn your economy into points via the end game scoring. So I'm not as bothered by missing Earth 1 in this league than I would be in base, because you can just build a bigger economy and try to compete on the end game scoring as well as the other ways you can normally turn your economy into points. So I grabbed action 3, the workers, and I'm already almost set here to get oh, I am set, right? To get it cost me 5, it cost me 15. Yeah, if I had to, I could burn 3 power into coins and get my temple and my sanctuary. I already have enough workers. So that's the big advantage of this, is you get, not only do you get your sanctuary early, which, as I said before, is Darklings' like superpower, their amazing sanctuary, but you also get 4 points for it. So that was kind of like the extent of my game plan, was like get an early sanctuary and then hope good stuff happens. But excuse me. Something that I've also talked about on Fjords is, at least I think I have. I know in the last game we looked at, the Witches game, I felt very cramped for space, right? As Witches, I was just barely able to cobble together 2 towns. Whereas on base set, it's not that big a deal to get 3. I keep saying base set, it's base map, right? But I've played a few games of Fjords now. This is like, I mean, my other 2 games are almost finished. They're in round 6, and I kind of know what I'm doing, and I know how I'll finish. But it'll still be a little while before the turns are actually wrapped up. Anyway, I'm just saying I have a little bit of experience on Fjords now, and the thing that stands out the most is how unbelievably competitive it is for hexes. Every game in round 1, I've been like, there are people who are not going to get hexes that they desperately need, and I want to try not to be one of them. So getting my sanctuary is good, but I have to also get some important hexes. Like, it would be kind of nice to go this way, right? And nomads are kind of threatening to take H4 instead. And then, like, it's a little bit hard for me to get off this island, isn't it? Like, F5 would be a way, but the mermaids are likely to want that. So if I can't get H4 or F5, I'll have to take F4. And then, like, neither of these tiles are that great for me. And besides, mermaids might take this one too. And even for Darklings, putting together 5 digs early is like a bit of a tall order to get out this way. So even if I can like land my excellent sanctuary, there's still a lot of work to be done. And something you might think about at this point is, what 2 favor tiles should I take? Since the plan is to take 2 favor tiles in round 1, what should they be? They can't be Earth 1. What are some other popular favor tiles, right? We could take Fire 1 is very popular for Darklings as like their first favor. I'm taking them both at the same time. Well, or first or second, whatever. Like, ideally, in many Darkling games, you would choose Fire 1 and then Earth 1. But you often don't have that choice because Earth 1 will be gone, so you take Earth 1, and then a little bit later you take Fire 1. And you've gotten fewer coins, but you've like secured the point engine. Here, I'm getting them both at basically the same time, so I can pick any 2 I want, except none of them can be Earth 1. So one of the reasons that Darklings are so compelling on this map, I mean, I don't know, on this game, I mean, and there are plenty, they're just like generally good. But the other thing to look at is like the Earth and Water cults are the ones Darklings start off on, and since players tend to get Earth 1 and Water 1 cults, they're slightly more inclined to compete on Earth and Water, and Darklings get a head start on those. So this pushes us more towards Earth and Water, I think. I don't think we want Water 1 this early. I mean, I'll tell you, I didn't take Water 1 this early, but I think it was right, because our goal this game is to build an economic engine that can get to endgame scoring, to cluster scoring. And Water 1, it's going to be a long time before I really want to build any trading posts, right? So I think there's plenty we can wait before we take Water 1 is the idea, and just get more economy. And the funny thing is, I'm at like, what, 1 Earth right now? And the kind of natural tile to take, since an Earth income round is coming up, is Earth 2, which is fine for Darklings. Like, they usually don't have that much trouble getting workers, because they can dig cheaply and therefore build a lot of dwellings. So, I don't know. I would prefer Fire 1, except for the cult steps that are given by Earth 2, because it'll help getting you coin income in round 2, which, okay, so would Fire 1. But it also will give you digs later. I don't know, maybe I should have taken Fire 1 now that I look at it. But I didn't do that. I took Earth 2 and Water 2. And Water 2 was a very, like, I don't know. I'm not a Water 2 opening kind of guy. I don't think. But in this particular game, it just looked exactly perfect to me. Remember, Water 2 is the one that lets you take a cult step every round. And Water 2 was going to give me 2 Earth steps by the time the coins roll around. And it'll get me up to 3 Water, and I can spend my cult step in round 3 on a 4th Water for a priest. And I forget the details exactly. I think I was planning to send a priest to Earth. Does that work? Yeah. So if I take Earth 2, and I also take 2 steps on the Earth cult from here, that's 4 more steps from where I am. That's 5. And if I send a priest to Earth, well, if I can get it on the 3 spot on Earth, then I'll be at 8 already. But if I can only make the 2 spot, then my Water 2 step will still get me to 8 Earth for 2 digs in this round. So Water 2 just seemed to line up perfectly with the upcoming cult bonuses in a way. And that also puts me in a great position to fight for the 2 cults that I think I might have some chance at winning. So that was what I ended up doing. Right. But everyone else was so busy, like, I don't know, securing hexes and stuff, that I didn't have to burn 3 just to get 3 coins. I was able to burn 4 and take the coin action. Right, the mermaids took the double dig, and by the way, it looks like I'm indeed not getting out through any of these. And so now I'm like, okay, wow, like F4 is the only way out. Are the engineers going to take F4? No, they kind of want to go this way. So it looks like I can kind of squeeze out through here. The mermaids don't want these tiles. The main risk would be the nomads coming over here and taking E5 before I can get there. But I actually was allowed to get away with action 4. Everyone else, I'm not sure why they were in such a hurry. Like, why didn't the engineers take action 4? Maybe they didn't want it. Maybe they wanted a dig. But the digs are all gone this round, so maybe they're saving power for next round? I don't know. I feel like engineers should maybe have taken the coins here. But instead they turned E8 into a trading post. I assume they're planning to get 2 temples. It's a temple round in their engineers. Or it's a trading post round. Huh. I don't know. They could build another temple, though. That's a pretty normal thing for them to do. Anyway, so they just barely beat me to the 3 spot on Earth using their priest income tile. But since we're planning to take Water 2, oh, that's the other thing, is I can really delay taking my favor tiles until I see how everything plays out, because there's no competition for any of them. That's why I was taking these favor actions, sending a priest, just trying to see what other stuff is going to happen. Oh, that's right. I wrote some stuff in my notes about Earth 2. It felt kind of weird. Like, I don't know. It's not a choice I often make. And it's kind of a weird blend between an income tile, and an income favor, and a scoring favor, right? Because it gives you cult steps, which are kind of like their income during the game, and at the end of the game, their points. So, I don't know. It felt like kind of a compromise between going full-on economy with, like, Earth 2, Fire 1. I don't know if that was a good compromise, but that was the idea. And it actually ended up helping out quite a bit in round 1 in a kind of roundabout way, just by giving me an extra turn. One of the things I ended up doing in this round was trying to pass last so nobody else could get my lovely bonus tile. And I ended up, as I recall, needing that extra action to do so. So anyway, I finally grabbed my temple, and what did engineers took? They took Earth 2. Seems completely normal. There's Earth coming up, engineers love workers. Great. And so did I. And then I got my sanctuary? Yeah. And engineers are still going. They took a priest. I get a sanctuary. And I feel like they took the priest mainly to try to get my bonus tile, because they really wanted some workers. Right? They have 0 and they're getting 1. And so I think they took action 2 as a way to spend 2 turns. Thinking that would get them out of the round after me. But joke's on them. I can take I can take 2 turns too. Right, they sent their priest to water, and like it's fine. They locked in the 3-step. They're not sad about buying this priest or anything. But they're not getting the other thing they wanted, which is my pass tile. So they end up having to pass before me, and I believe I snap up their priest. Yeah. None of this other stuff is at all interesting to me. And I guess they must have taken the worker. They badly want workers, right? Yeah. And I got the priest because, like, look at this. A, it's a digging round coming up. B, I need to dig like my life depends on it to get through here. It would be nice to secure a 7, but there doesn't seem to be any kind of rush for it. Likewise, G7. It's not clear how we're going to finish this town, because it has to be 4 tiles. Maybe we bridge to I7. Maybe we get E8. Maybe we take F6. But the real urgent priority at the moment is to get my sanctuary to safety. Hence the priests. If I can dig this out for 2, that's nice. If I could come up with 5 digs in this round, that would be amazing. But, you know, the more the merrier. And taking the priest is a way to get 3. And I'm actually a little bit surprised. What order did things happen in here? Because it seems like a mistake was made here. Mermaids. Double dig. Oh, I was like, shouldn't the engineers have spent power on a dig action? They come before me. Why didn't they rescue their temple, which is in just as dire a position? The dig power actions were snapped up before their turn. They went so slowly in round 1 that they were 3rd. And the players who were 1st and 2nd took both dig power actions. And engineers only have 2 workers, so they can't get out. So, wow, right? Like, what a cutthroat dog eat dog world it is out here. The engineers are like, okay, I got 3 ways out. Seems okay. You know, maybe don't want to go this way. They'd like to go this way, but nomads cut them off there, and engineers cut them off here. Like, how brutal is that? And so they're like, well, I guess I'm not getting out. I'll just take the coins, give up on this temple. And that meant I didn't have to rush at all for F4. In fact, I just said, I'll stall. Take an Earth step. We'll do this later. I forget why. Oh, it gives me some power so that I have to burn less for the priest, I assume. Yeah, that's the idea. Because I looked around and I didn't think anybody else really wanted a priest. Everybody has one, which is pretty much plenty. I mean, it's a coin round. But nobody, I don't think, is really expecting to be able to send 2 priests to 2 spots on this cult. So having 1 is enough, and they don't really want more. And if I can't get another, whatever, no big deal. But going out this way is my priority for this round. Ooh, really? That's cheeky. What's that about? Yeah, mermaids and nomads then followed up by sending their priests to Earth. So this cult is locked up in terms of priests already. Engineers took workers, which makes sense. And then I built G7. Why was I in such a hurry to get to G7? Huh. I think I must have been sort of worried about mermaids coming through and trying to get to F7. I was kind of like, where do mermaids want their second town? They have one here. The second town could be like this, but it could also be like this. They're both a brown and a blue. I think I didn't think about it at the time, but they actually have a better town, which is here, a brown and a black. I was a little worried that they would come here if, like, the nomads cut them off at E6 or something like that. I think that must be what was going on. But I admit I don't totally understand it. The other thing to think about is, like, how much am I digging this? Right? I can dig this easily. I have well, I had 3 priests before this dig. I can dig this out with 2 of them. But then, like, how much do I want to dig this red tile? If I dig it to, like, yellow, it's looking a little bit vulnerable to, let's say nomads got to E6 by building their stronghold this round. Okay, looks like they can't, but conceivably they might be able to get here and advance shipping and take this if I made it yellow. So I'm a little bit worried about spending too many digs this way, and maybe that's why I spent my dig here? As I said, not really sure what that was about. And also something to think about is, like, should I be building quickly or slowly? This one I should certainly build quickly, because you don't want to leave it black for the mermaids to grab and turn it blue or something out from under you. They do have enough workers that they could do it if they converted a priest to a worker. They could hard dig here and take it from me after I dig it black, which would be pretty embarrassing. I don't know if they want to, but it wouldn't be the end of the world for them, probably. So I just didn't want to open myself up to that kind of embarrassment. Now I finally took the priest action, and the mermaids went up here. Okay. And the engineers have passed. What have they done this round? Nothing? They just took 2 power actions and then left? Yeah. They really wanted the worker pass tile, I guess. Huh. Huh. I guess they can't really go anywhere. Right? Like, they can't hard dig because they don't have enough work. Well, okay. They could, but it's really sad for engineers, and it could only get them, like, here or here. And they don't have anything else they want to upgrade, so what are they supposed to do with all those workers? They just got to get out early. Fair enough. And I was trying to go slowly again here. Once the mermaids have built G2, F4 is no longer at risk, so I was digging it slowly. I don't remember which bonus tile I wanted. Oh, it wasn't even about getting the right pass tile, I don't think. I figured the mermaids, like, I don't know. They're probably taking this one. Maybe this, but 3 power and a similar number of points seems like you should take the shipping tile. And it wouldn't be too inconvenient for them to advance shipping next round anyway. and it's a dwelling scoring run coming up, right? So it looks like I can get bonus 9 regardless. What I was trying to do was just delay giving the mermaid's leech just in case this matters somehow. I didn't have any specific goals in mind, but it was just like kind of good practice. And then I did decide to dig e5 because red and yellow are equally far away from mermaids, so it's not a risk there. And the nomads are going to take at least 3 actions to get here, which should be plenty of time for me to grab it. Did I in fact get the... Oh, I didn't want the bone... Oh, right, I remember. I didn't want the dwelling scoring tile. I wanted shipping. I had in mind the idea of advancing ship, because it's a dwelling round, right? Having the shipping tile. Oh, I did want their bonus tile, right? Didn't they have the shipping last round? No. Okay. Whatever. Where are we? Okay, here we are. Beginning of round 3. I had the idea of, well, okay, I8 would be nice, and obviously I need e5. Where else do I go? Well, I could take c4, c5, and a6, or I could maybe advance ship and just go c5, a6, because I actually only have 2 priests, right? Well, I don't know, advanced ship costs 1 too, so I was kind of hoping like maybe c4, c5, a6 was my like sort of idea. It wasn't though. My idea was actually to advance shipping, so I have 2, and then I can go here. I don't remember why I didn't want to take c4 first, but then the mermaids grabbed c5 right away, and I was like, okay, well, forget that plan. And I just bought another priest. I've taken the priest action in round 2. I guess one thing we haven't done in a while is we'll look at the scores. And it's going fine, right? I don't have birth 1, but I've been doing so much digging, it's just disgusting. And I did it all in a dig round, right? So I have 8 points from faction digs and 8 points from round digs, which is really like a great source of points. Nobody else has, I think, more than 4 from the digging round. Yeah. They just got the power action digs for a total of 6 among them, and I got 8. So Darklings are overpowered. Yeah, and I got the priest action in round 2 and now round 3 to just help bolster that and get me more and more digs. And I finally took e5. I was very nervous about it the whole time, even though I couldn't see how anyone would take it from me. I was just like, what if they take it? What if they take it? And so c4 is still a possibility, but not as appealing anymore now that I can't hop over to c5. So I actually took instead e6. This is nice for a couple of reasons. First, it makes it cost less shipping to connect up these regions. It's a 2-hop to here and then a 1 rather than a single 3-hop. And also, I don't remember if I had thought about this yet or if it only came into my mind later. I think it only came into my mind kind of like near the end of this round. Is that this dwelling could actually be a part of this town. F6 is difficult to dig, but I'm Darklings. Who's going to stop me? Right? And it would save me a bridge if I could make the town all up here. It would also cut off the nomads, or make it much more difficult for them to get out, to form a second town here. So something I was paying a lot of attention to over the next 2 rounds was like, are the nomads going to get their stronghold? Do they have digs available? Do they want to dig to here? I wasn't sure, but I was paying attention to that. And I still have a bunch of workers and coins. I want to build here, but I think I'm pretty much done after that. Oh, I take my cult step, sure. Oh, sure, I grabbed the trading post. Why not? So, the town round is coming up, and I'm going to need a lot of coins for that. And of course, a trading post like costs you more coins than it produces over the course of just one round. But since I need the trading post anyway, I might as well get the coin income from it. And that also sets me up to be just one turn away from finishing my town, meaning I should be able to secure the town of my choice because I'll get the first one at the beginning of the round. And what I really want is the coin town. Yeah, they put a temple here. What did they take? Earth 2? Yeah. A little late for that, I think. Now I'd build down here. What else? Didn't I do something else recently? Oh, right. I just took my favor action on water to get me up to 4 so I can get the priest. And again, I'll be getting a ton of priests this round. Like, in round 2, I gained 3 priests. 2 from the sanctuary, 1... No. Yeah. Didn't... No, I gained 4 priests that round, right? Because, yeah, I got 2 from my sanctuary, 1 from my pass tile, and 1 power action. And then this round, I got 3 as well. And I'm setting up to get 3 this round. It's just disgusting having this sanctuary so early. Right, I finally built this, and I passed. And let's look actually at pass tiles. What were my options? Did I take the priest again? What, I bet I did. Yeah, I love digging. Yeah, the engineers, I would have loved this pass tile, I'm sure, but the priest tile was fine, and the engineers were going more slowly, so I couldn't take it from them, right? Yeah, they took two more actions after me, so I just grabbed the priest, and like I'm getting 4 more priests again. It's just gross. All these priests that I'm getting to dig with. It's 3 rounds have gone by and I've already taken 7 digs, which is pretty cool. And as planned, neither mermaids nor nomads can finish their town. Well, okay, nomads actually could if they really wanted take a town before me. They could put a sanctuary here and take fire too. That would be questionable, but it would also be fine with me because there's the town tile I want is coins, and if they take coins, there's still 1 for me, no problem. And the other, it's around this time that I realize, like, I maybe had my sights set too low on, like, finishing this town. Obviously, I want to finish this town, but it's quite realistic for me to finish my second town in this round as well. It'll be, like, it turns out the timing on it is kind of complicated, and it depends on what nomads do. But I can either spend my 4 digs here, build 2 dwellings and 2 trading posts, which I can just barely afford if I get a little bit of leech, I think, in addition to the coin town. But like, I need 2 workers here. I have 6 left, which is perfect for 2 dwellings and 2 trading posts. In terms of coins, I have 6 from the coin town, and I need 10. Is that right? 3? Yeah, 10. I need 10 coins here to finish this town. Not sure where I'm getting 4 extra coins from. Well, I mean, okay, just, yeah. If I really had to, gaining even 1 power would be enough. Because I can burn 3 to get 3 more coins, and, you know, burn a 4th one if I gain this, and that's enough coins. And I can guarantee gaining a power if I really have to, by like, if I use my favorite tile to advance 1 step on water. But I don't want to do that, and I don't have to, because this is a town round. Mermaids are definitely building some stuff adjacent to me, either here, or perhaps both. The engineers are probably coming to one of these directions. I'm not sure which. Hopefully here, because then I get some power. Nomads might take f6 too soon, but in that case, I can bridge to I7 and put a dwelling there and a dwelling on f7 and the 2 trading posts here. So the same kind of basic idea works. But I remember being a little bit worried about priest count. And I'm not sure why. Like, I remember analyzing that these 2 towns were equivalently expensive for me. One of them costs a bridge, which is 3 power, and somehow this one was going to cost me the priest power action, which was also 3 power. I don't see why I thought that, because this is only 4 priests and I already have that many. So something must have happened that caused me to use a priest elsewhere, maybe. And then I needed to get one back or something? I don't know. I guess we'll see. So I did this. I finished my town. Engineers came down here, so I got the power I needed. Great. By the way, action 4 gone already. And the engineers took the double cult town. Sure. That gets them up to 8 on Earth, which is nice, and it's also just generally a good town. And Nomads did not take f6, so I did, spending 3 digs on it. And I don't know. This didn't end up costing me the priest. I must have been confused somehow. Like, maybe I forgot how many priests I had? I don't know. Huh. There was some contingency plan I had that involved spending 5 priests up there. I'm not sure what it was. But anyway, I've like locked in my second town in this round, which is fantastic. Just build a trading post, and I didn't even have to burn more than 1 for it because I gained so much power. Oh, didn't have to burn any because I got some more power from the mermaids getting their town. And they in fact finished both of their towns this round as well, but they had to take fire 2 to get it. Although I don't think they actually had to. They had enough resources. They could have just built instead of the second temple, they could have built a trading post and a trading post. So I'm not totally sure what that was about. Like, why did they think they needed fire 2? I guess they were going to try to get a 3rd town later on, which makes sense. You know, one concern I have is where would that 2nd or 3rd town go? I guess you could try to build it here on the bottom somehow. Digging in this way or this way, I'm not sure which. It's only 3 digs. That's a pretty good town, actually. Yeah, that makes sense. And let's check in on the scores again, by the way. Engineers are having kind of a rough game, it feels like. They don't have a lot of points, and their income is like okay, but not great. In particular, they don't have any coins, which is a little weird because engineers are so good at building trading posts. But they're probably about to build some, right? They have 2 workers and tons of power to turn into coins. Oh, the other thing I remember noticing is like they dug b5, right? Doesn't it start out red? Yeah. So they dug it at some point. Oh, when they took f8, they double dug and took b5 along with it. So I was like, the engineers lost their temple here. So they have to invest more in a 2nd town, but that doesn't mean they can't get a 2nd town. They can have these 2 tiles, and not sure exactly where they're getting the rest. Do they want a sanctuary up here and just take these 3? Do they want to take A6 or C4, which both are very unpleasant for them? Right, they're the opposite of the color wheel. Not sure. But they seem to be aiming to get another town here. Probably they would prefer A6 to C4 because that brings in an extra dwelling for them. But yeah, so they're heading up here, but they're still not having an amazing game. They don't have that many points. I don't know. I think I've like gone a little bit back in time from when I was looking at. Yeah, by quite a lot, in fact. They're having an all right game, but I feel like I'm having an astounding game. Look at these points, right? I didn't get Earth 1, but I'm ahead of the pack on points. And, you know, some of this is like going to disappear because I've already cashed in both of my towns, as have the mermaids. But the nomads and engineers each probably have one more town tile coming at some point. So they're going to get some points there. But overall, like I'm quite happy with my position. My cults are okay. I might conceivably win Earth. Water, I could win, but engineers will probably take it. So I'm not actually going to get that many cult points, which is a bit disappointing. But I am doing all right on network. Like I have 9 connected structures right now, and so do mermaids, and engineers have 6. Nomads only have 4, and it's going to be pretty hard for them to connect up, right? They need like I7 and 3 shipping and E9 or something like that. So I'm doing okay in terms of network. And in terms of connected clusters, it's also fine, right? I have 3. Mermaids also have 3. It looks like they have 5, but this a town is always a single cluster, even if the mermaids are bridging it across the water. So they only have 1, 2, 3 clusters. Oh, something we didn't look at yet. What town tile should I take with my second town? I'm going to be pretty much broke this round, so whatever it is, I won't be spending it now. I have a great income coming up. Oh yeah, I felt bad at this point about building 4 trading posts almost in one round. This one I built in the previous round, but without having time to stop off for water 1, which would have been great. Yeah. I don't think I was wrong to do this. I think it was worth it to get both towns this round and forget about water 1. But it feels really bad to build like 4 trading posts when nobody's paying you for it. They're not everybody's favorite structure. I'm gonna try to... No, if I scroll down anymore, you'll see what town tile I took. So I guess at this point, it's sort of like time to ask about what my plans are for the last 2 rounds. Because I've finished 2 towns, kind of your first order goal in a lot of games is like you want to get at least 2 towns, and that's what you're working towards for much of the game. And I've done it already. I have 2 rounds to try to increase my points. Some more temples in the next round sounds great. I'm Darklings. I love priests, and if they're going to pay me for the temples, sure, I'll build them. I can take like some points favors, or I can take some cult favors, something like that. What did I take, by the way? I remember one of them. Oh, I remember both. That's right. Sort of questionable. But okay, so we're building a couple temples next round, and that's going to be like much of my economy will be spent just on that, right? I'll have 8 coin income and just 6 workers. So 2 temples takes up most of that. So I'm not doing much else on the board. I'm just building 2 temples and maybe digging a bit. Maybe 1 dwelling. But so like the goal is to get a large network that's got many connected clusters. And so what I want is to start increasing my shipping like more permanently now. So I can't take a coin down, those are gone. The engineers took the other one. No, the nomads did. Right, engineers took this. I could take the shipping town or a priest town. And so the question is, like, do I have a bunch of money sloshing around that I can't spend, in which case I should take the priest town? Or do I have my money kind of earmarked? And I think I have my money earmarked. There's a lot of stuff I want to do with my coins, so I took the shipping town. And this also has a nice advantage that my shipping goes up this round instead of next round once I have enough coins for it. This is very important because the cult dig is coming. I'm going to be getting 2 digs. And there are places I could spend them without shipping, notably I7, but that doesn't give me any more clusters. If I take the shipping town, I can add some more clusters. I could take maybe C4. There's a downside of that, which is that the mermaids will then just take it from me, so maybe not so great. But G9 is a tile that the engineers might conceivably want, but I definitely want to go like this, kind of zigzag along this fjord. And so I grabbed my shipping town so that I could double dig this with my cult income, and make it totally unthinkable for the engineers to grab it, and meanwhile I can have it kind of whenever I want. And I think it's now time to pass, right? What pass tile do I get? Oh my god, I get this one. That's disgusting. That must be what happened, right? Yeah, second time getting this. Very lovely. So now I'm actually a bit short on coins for this round. I have more workers than I need. Kind of too bad. And I think the engineers just went on for a while here doing stuff. Nope. And everyone spent like a lot of digs. Everyone was pretty high on the Earth Cult. We have 3 people at 8 and 1 person at 4. What did we get? I6. Nomads took B6 and D6, so they got both of these digs for free. Mermaids got this one. It would be dangerous for... Well... Actually, you know, they had to make that dig while I still had a dig coming. I could have dug this back or even further to black, and it would be another cluster for me. And then I could take like C4 and make that black as well. That might have been more interesting than G9, actually. The problem is, though, that like the mermaids will just like, they'll grumble and they'll dig it back, right? They're coming up first, they can take the dig action. So I don't know if it really was worthwhile. And this does unlock a lot of juicy territory for me. It'd be nice to get E9, but nomads can sandstorm it and it'll be kind of hard to get there in time. But like just getting up here and like maybe over to A10 one day, I think G9 was the right choice, but I6 would have been a good way to annoy the mermaids. Who, by the way, look like my rival. They're doing quite well on points as well, and they've got a solid network, good income. Maybe not as good as the engineers, but good. So I just built a temple, and I took Air 1. It makes total sense. I was talking about how I built all these trading posts without anyone paying me for them. Now's the time to start getting money, or getting points for them. And then I sent a priest to Air. Right. I'm delaying all my dwellings till next round. Also because I don't really have enough coins. I don't know. I think this was a mistake. Maybe. Because I could maybe have gotten E9 this round if I had like hurried a bit more. But my idea was actually to contest the air cult, saying the engineers are not really going to try that hard to win it. And I just took air 1. Sending a priest here is good, and I can take another air favor tile. I could take air 3, but air 2 gives me most of the oomph that air 3 does, and it also gives me 4 power next round. So the other favor tile I took was actually air 2. It feels a bit silly to take an income tile so late, but I kind of recently have come around to the view that like the worst time to take an income tile is round 4. Round 5, they're an interesting compromise between taking a 3-step favor, which are like generally not amazing, and like that extra cult step sometimes isn't worth anything, and often it's only worth 1 or maybe 2 points. If it like is a tiebreaker for first place, it's worth 2. If it's a tiebreaker for second place, it's only worth 1. So the 2-step is like almost all the points of the 3-step, but it also gives you some income next round. And so I've sort of come around to the view that it's totally fine to take a 2-step in round 5. Maybe a stronger player in the comments will explain to me why that's the wrong way of looking at things. But I kind of like it. And so I finished off my temple, and now I'm tied with engineers, and I gained some power this round as well, which is nice. I wonder... Right. So if I really wanted to, I could build my stronghold this round. I'm getting scoring for it after all. But it would just be not a good idea. Because I won't get to convert any priests to workers. I won't have any priests left. Or any workers to priests. I won't have any left. And I'll also lose the income from my trading post. And I'll also lose the points from my Air 1. So it would really be quite a disaster. But it's like sort of superficially appealing if you just look at this. What else am I up to this round? I think I passed quite early. Oh, that's right. I wrote something. I wrote a note about this actually. Yeah. At this point, is it my turn yet? No. We can step forward by like 2 steps here. Uh, 3 steps? Yeah. It's now my turn to act. And the nomads have passed out a bit early, saving the resources for the dwelling round. Totally reasonable. And there's a really juicy bonus 9 here. And I'm a little bit like... I'm really thinking about passing now to take that tile, because it's so much better for me than the other 2. The priest looks nice, but like it's not that great. This is like 8 points and 2 coins, which is insane. This is like a dig and 2 points and a coin. So I was really thinking of passing here, even before spending my water cult step. Like, there's nothing I desperately need the cult step for. It would be nice to get to 9 on Earth so I can guarantee a tie for second place, at least. Perhaps second place alone. It would be nice to spend it on air to threaten first place. It would be nice, maybe even to, like, spend it on water to get some power. I don't know. Or I could send a priest to air. Or I could advance shipping, I think. Yeah, I could do that. These are all things that I could do, but I'd also really like to make sure I get this bonus tile. And so I have to think about, are the other players going to take this bonus tile if I give them the chance? And I think for the mermaids, it's clear that the answer is no. They have the shipping bonus tile right now, shipping scoring bonus tile. And they have the resources to advance ship twice, which must be great for them, right? And even after doing that, they can still build I5 if they want. I don't know if they do want to. Maybe they want to delay until here. They can even build A11, right? So the question is if they're going to try to get a third town in here, I guess. If they are, I think they should go ahead and build here just to get more workers and say the worker is going to be worth more than a point. But at any rate, they're going to take at least 2 more actions this round. How about the engineers? It's not so clear to me. They have a lot of resources. But I don't see anything they really have to do this round. They might want to wait until the next round to like do a bunch of stuff if it means they can get a good bonus tile. Like ideally, they would prefer to build a trading post here, maybe here. Maybe after that a dwelling, I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They'd be down to 5. The 6th dwelling for engineers doesn't do anything. So if they build 2 trading posts, they actually don't want to build another dwelling because it won't do anything. They could build 2 dwellings, but that's giving up like 4 points to build it now instead of next turn. So I don't know. They also like might want to send their priest to a cult to get extra coins from it. That's why everyone has so many coins coming in, by the way. It's a priest income round. So there's a lot of things the engineers look like they might want to do, but nothing they look like they definitely want to do. I decided in the end to chance it and take 1 more action. I sent a priest to water to kind of deter the mermaids from trying to pass me and also get the coin income next round. And nobody took the bonus tile. Why did it? Oh, right, because I had stepped halfway through this turn last. Yeah, okay. And now I'm given the choice again, and this time I took the bonus tile. I said I can't risk the engineers snapping it out from under me because none of the others are any good for me. Especially now that I've sent a priest to the cults, I can't even handle a priest income. So these 2 bonus tiles are just like worth 0 to me. They're awful. And this one's 8 points and 2 coins, so I took it. I didn't use my free cult step, which feels a little bit bad, but I remember someone writing somewhere, a stronger player than me, about how you often will be happier if you think about Water 2 not as gain a free cult step, but as skip a turn, right? Which is something that you often want to do for various tempo reasons. To get the right bonus tile, to like make someone else commit to something before you commit to whatever counters it or whatever. And you get, as a bonus, a cult step. Great. But sometimes you don't want to skip a turn. You want to go quickly. And this cult step is kind of an albatross around your neck in those cases, right? You would do better to just imagine it as a feel free to skip a turn if you want, and then say, well, I don't want to skip a turn, I'm not doing it. And like in the end, all it's really going to cost me is 1 point, right? The upside of spending that action is I get a point on Earth. Either because I move from tie-breaking for 3rd to winning 2nd alone, or because I go from 3rd alone to tie-breaking for 2nd, depending on whether the nomads get to go up. So I think it was totally a fine insurance play to give up a point to secure access to 8 points in case engineers want it badly enough. And I don't know, if I hadn't passed, would the engineers have taken it? Maybe. Maybe not, but maybe. And in the end, they actually they and the mermaids each took like 4 or 5 more actions. So I felt a bit silly about passing early, but you can never say that they would have done the same thing if I hadn't, right? And this first bridge, by the way, made a ton of sense. They have their stronghold already. I figured, okay, they're gonna build C3 and get 3 points for their bridge. But instead they also bridged E3, which tells me they don't really understand the engineer's stronghold power, because these bridges are not worth points if you don't have structures on the other ends of them. So not sure what happened there. Even now, if you were willing to burn a power, you could get a dwelling down. It would cost you the 2 points of not building it in the dwelling round, but it would give you a worker, and it would give you 3 points for doing this. So I think it's obviously better than not doing so. For whatever reason, by the way, the engineers ended up taking B4 and A4 instead of A6. Not sure why. Let's back that up. Oh no, B4 they already had. It was just a question of whether they were taking C4 or A6. And on reflection, that's a dumb question to ask. They would never take C4 when they could take A4 instead. And so if they're already going to have these, then yeah, these two is how to finish up your town, sure. And they got another temple taking, I guess, water 1? Yeah. But then they did this, and it's like, oh, so sad. This bridge actually, in a way, ends up costing them points, because now these two dwellings are, they count as the same cluster instead of two different clusters. So they get 3 points at the end of round 6 for having a bridge connecting them, but they end up losing 3 points on cluster tiebreaker. So the bridge comes out in the wash. They just put 2 workers down the toilet for this and another 2 for this, which seems pretty bad for engineers especially. But okay, finally round 6 begins, and what are the standings? Nomads are having an awful game. They never really put together any points. And they're not connected up, but they could connect up maybe if they went like here and here. But what I'm more worried about is them just in general them taking E9, because it'd be really nice if I could go G9, E9, E10, and then I could go like C4, and then maybe like head up this way to these tiles if I need a second shipping. What? I'm having a pretty okay game, I think. Like 89 points before beginning a high-scoring round. Seems good. And in particular, one thing I have that other players don't have is dwelling supply. Right? I only have 4 dwellings on the board, which means I can build 4 more dwellings without having to interrupt myself for trading posts. While the other players, in particular mermaids and engineers who are actually in the running, have already built 7 dwellings. So after that, every dwelling they want to build will require a new trading post. I've, in a way, got a head start on turning my dwellings into trading posts. If we look at total structures, I have 9. Mermaids have... Oh, they did end up building these. That's nice. Or this one, anyway. Mermaids have 4, 8, 10, 11. And engineers have 5, 9, 10, plus this one. So I'm in competition for network. I'm behind, it looks like, but not really, because I don't have to build so many trading posts to advance as my opponents do. So I think I'm actually doing great on network, even though if you look at this thing, it says I'm in 3rd. I don't think that's true. Obviously, the way this guy estimates is very simple, and according to that simple estimate, it's obviously correct. But I have a lot of diggable terrain. I have plenty of priests, and I have plenty of dwelling supply. So I think I'm in good position here for network. And I get to go second, which is a rare treat. Usually I'm passing out pretty late in a high econ game, of course. What do I end up doing with this power? The nomads obviously take the coin action. Yeah, so this is why I should have built G9 last round at least. Or why I would have liked to. I was scared to do it because of, again, I was worried the engineers would take my bonus tile. But I really wanted to be able to threaten E9 more quickly. Then the nomads can't so easily take the coin action because they're worried about losing E9, which is like an easy sandstorm for them right now and makes it easy for them to get more network, easy for them to connect up. It's like almost impossible for them to connect up if they don't get E9, right? They need to go through like, well, no, that's not true. They can take H7, but they'll have to dig it, which is not very nice. They'd rather just sandstorm this and build this. So if I already had G9, I could threaten E9, or I could in fact have taken E9 last round if I was willing to give up 2 points for it. And I think that would have actually been a good choice. It cost me 4 points to build these, but I get 2 extra workers, which could be worth something. And I also get some security in my network and cluster scoring, which would be worth a fair bit, I think. So what did I actually do? Oh, not sure. I think I built G9? Yeah, nomads took the coin action, then I built G9, threatening E9, and they respond by taking E9. No? They didn't take the coins. For some reason, they spent 3 workers on building E9. I don't know what that was about. Why not sandstorm? It's a mystery to me. Where else do you want a sandstorm? C9? I don't know. Like, maybe was this a UI mistake? The move just makes no sense to me. I think they should have taken the coins and then sandstorm D9 and they'd still be there in time. But instead, I took G9. I could have taken the coins, but I don't really need them, and I really do kind of want these spaces before nomads get to them. I don't know. Maybe I should have taken the coins. After nomads take E9, the other spaces are not so much under threat for me, right? Yeah, I don't know. And what did everybody else do? Mermaids went to fire, and engineers got the coins, sure. So they're loaded. Gonna get a strong last round for sure. But I think advanced ship at this point? No. I took C4 before the mermaids could get to it. Kind of the idea was like, alright, well if I can't have an E9, I have to advance ship. In order to get here, I might as well like advance ship to go here. And then the idea is to take either B6 or D6 or C9 to get up to A10 with just 2 shipping. But this is one I can secure before getting 2 ship. And no one is really fighting me for the others that much, so it seemed fine to grab this before advancing ship to pick up my actual black tiles. Then I advance ship, right? It doesn't show. Yes, I advanced ship. And just like started building some stuff. The nomads finished their town and took... Oh, I remember. They ended up having to take the power town twice. Which is like not a good town, but the good ones were already taken. They wanted coins, but the coin towns were gone. So what are you going to do? So this is why, again, I think they should have taken the coin power action rather than rushing out E9. And it's a dream round 6 for me. Everything I could want happens. At this point, I have to start building trading posts in order to have room for more dwellings. But I have the resources for it. Trading post, dwelling. Trading post, where was it? Here. Dwelling. Yeah, I was giving it to nomads because they're not in contention, so I gave them the leech. And And, like, I suddenly made a gigantic network of 15 structures and 9 different clusters. There's a nice little ring around the eastern continent that's pretty cool, I think. The engineers, though, have also done a lot. Right now, they have 14 of 15 structures connected and 7 clusters. So all they need to do is build one more thing to tie me on network. And if they could build another, they would both pass me on network and tie me on clusters. But fortunately, they can't do both of those. To get C9, they have to do quite a lot. They have to advance ship, which, fine, they can do that. They have to build a trading post, fine, they can do that. Then build a dwelling. Okay, that was a total of what? 7 coins? They still have 2 coins and 2 workers. And they could get a 3rd coin by burning power. And that's enough to build a trading post and a dwelling. 2 problems with that approach. First, they would have to dig someplace as well. And it's not clear how they could dig E1, which wouldn't even be another cluster. But they could take H7. That would be another cluster, but they don't have the resources to dig it. But even if they did, they're out of trading posts to upgrade to. So they can't, build 2 trading posts and then 2 dwellings. They'd have to build, a trading post and a sanctuary and a temple and a trading post and 2 dwellings. And that's obviously out of reach. So they're only going to get up to 15 out of 16 on network and 8 on clusters, which means that I'll retain my lead on clusters and I'll tie for first on network. The mermaids are just going to be a tiny bit behind on everything, sadly. They can't quite get to 15, and they can't quite get to 8. So they're going to have to take 3rd place on network and tie for... No, and also 3rd place on clusters, right. So a very sad finish for them. I feel like they might have done better to try to finish a 3rd town down here after they took fire too. I don't know. Right, it would have basically just been another 2 digs. And then they could just move some of the dwellings they built elsewhere to down here. They wouldn't be doing that well on clusters, but they didn't do that well on clusters anyway. And the nomads did end up connecting. But it actually is worth no points. They only have 4 clusters and only 12 structures, so they're well behind everyone. I think it was fine for them to advance ship anyway. It's just an okay way to get points. Your 3rd shipping is a pretty good deal. And I don't know, when you're in last regardless, any move you take is kind of equally fine, right? And I ended up... The nomads sent their last priest to air. I sent my... spent my favor on air. And, if I had been able to spend my favor on Earth in round 5, that would have been worth a point. 2 points. No, 1 point. Or if I had had the foresight to spend it on air in rounds 5 and 6, it would be worth 2 points. And 2 power. That would be pretty cool. But I didn't really need that. I just needed to make sure I got this bonus tile. It says I'm ahead by 1 million right now, but that's because I'm finished and the engineers aren't yet. They're actually about to take quite a lot of points away from me. Well, okay, just 6. 6? Yeah. There you go. So the game's finished. That didn't look like 6. 160. Only 3. Why only 3? What happened? Did I count something wrong? Oh, because they actually didn't even tie me on clusters. That's right. And they built... Oh, God. They still don't understand the rule on bridges. They built another bridge here. Oh. I mean... Oh. Did it cost them anything? I guess not. They were getting 1 point from resources regardless, right? And they couldn't have spent their workers on anything else. So, okay, this could be a joke bridge. It's kind of sad. They have so many different clusters, but no place they could actually connect their own structures. They're all separated by the edges. of hexes and not their vertices. So this was the only place they could get a point for bridges. But in the end, I mean, the round went the game went very well for me. 14 faction digs is great. Sanctuary round 1 is just astounding, and a bunch of income tiles, and eventually a few points from one scoring tile. But I got to dominate I was so pleased with how well I did on the round scoring. I got something like 46 or 47 points from round scoring, which is just unbelievable. Right? I built I have a total of 15 structures, which means I built 13, and 9 of them were in dwelling scoring rounds. I got my towns all lined up. I got 4 digs in the dig round. Practically halfling mode. Oh, look at that. I get to move. You guys can't see it, though. I won't show you. I built 2 temples in the temple round. Okay, 1 trading post in the trading post round, just like everybody else. Actually, engineers got 2. But so yeah, it all adds up to 18, 28, 36, 44. Yeah, 47 points on round scoring. And, doing a pretty good job, I think, of capitalizing on the scoring bonus tiles. I feel a little bit bad that I took Water 2 and spent 3 priests on Earth and built 2 temples and a sanctuary. Well, 3 temples and a sanctuary. And still didn't win any cults. I feel I deserved to win a cult. And I guess I could have, right? I could have, in round 5, spent my cult action on air. And then I would have won a cult. But as previously discussed, I don't think that would have been the best use of my resources. And I don't know. It just seems like I got the average. So the mean number of points that a player gets on cults in a game, a 4-player game, is 14. That's just the total divided by 4. And I only got 13. I feel like I should have done above average on cults for all the work I put into it. But the other players were a bit more focused. They worked on kind of winning a couple cults, whereas I kind of spread myself too thin on 3 cults. I don't know. I think it was fine to work on air because I got like useful income out of it. Right? I got 7 points and 4 power out of the air cult, as well as getting 6 points. So it's fine. But I feel like I maybe could have done things a little bit better there somehow. Anyway, a pretty nice nice finish to this game. A comfortable win after being denied Earth 1. I'm totally fine with not getting Earth 1. I think it shows, like, getting Darklings in seat 4 is with the Sanctuary Stronghold tile available is way, way worth missing Earth 1, I think. Nobody ever gets to do this in base. Because this is... Darklings with this favorite tile just never happens. Because Darklings tend to get picked early because they're generally good. And this favorite bonus tile gets snapped up early because it's also generally good. And so it never makes it back around to the Darklings. Anyway, so that's my second game. We're now at can I show you the spreadsheet actually? Let me see if I can figure out how to do that. I don't know if it's even been updated yet, but I'll take a look. Fjords League spreadsheet. I know it's got my first game in it. I don't know if it has this game yet. Because I think it's updated manually somehow. Season 3, League 2 is me? Yeah, League 2. Hello, where is this game? Yeah, it's not in there yet. Okay. So there's still only been 1 game finished in my league, which is the first game you saw. Finished and entered into the scoring. This one's now finished and I got first. I have third in the other, so doing okay. Right? The average score in a game is 2.5. Yes, that adds up. And my average so far is 3.5, so slightly above average. Not amazing, but fine. And as I said, my other games are wrapping up. They're in round 6, kind of in the middle of round 6, so it'll be a little while. A few days at least, I think, before I have those up. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you continue to enjoy the Terra Mystica videos. And if you did, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.